What up, though? It's your boy Willie Styles in the building. Sonny, you want to say hello?
Hey y'all.
All
That's
right,
the
we're
wrong way.
here.
I'm gonna do it this way.
We're here making it happen by any means necessary, right, Sonny?
That part, man, it's been a struggle. I'm over here keep clicking myself out of it here. I'm
Right,
trying
right.
not to.
Okay, okay. All right, you got the camera looking good. Yeah, it's looking nice and crisp.
Well, I got it on my desk. I'm on my phone today, so I got it on my desk, and then I have like the light on my desk. But I didn't want to be too bright. But yeah, this is like
Yeah.
I
Okay.
feel like I'm super bright right now.
No, no, no. You good. You good. It's crystal clear. It's
I
looking
can't
good.
even see my hair. Like I don't know if it looks crazy, but hopefully not. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
no,
look
no, it's fine.
at the playback.
We can tell you're not bald. You
That
good.
part.
Uh, so, welcome to tonight's show. It's January 27th, and I think it's what is our second show of the year. So, Happy New Year to those who didn't catch us last week or a couple weeks ago, rather, when we did our first show of the year. So, welcome, welcome, welcome. And tonight we got a great topic for you guys. Going to be talking about term number
Commander
two,
Cheeto.
right? Term number two for Commander Cheeto,
That
and
part.
all the stuff that's going on in the administration, as well as all the aftermath of all of that. I got a list here of all the different executive orders he done already put in place that are
Yeah.
picking things up across the country, and I don't know. It's a lot. I meant to do a little bit more homework on this because there's so much that
Yeah,
has
I at
gone.
this point, I don't think we can get to all of them in our show. It's a lot to unpack, especially with opinion, thoughts, and all that stuff. So, like,
Exactly.
yeah, this is about to be interesting. That's all I'm gonna say. Yeah,
Oh, for sure, for sure. I mean, the only thing I am glad about, which I don't know, this it might be going on. I just haven't seen it yet, but I just remember from the first term that dang on ticker. Every day there was a ticker going across all the different news outlets of all the just the utter foolishness going on in the White House with the press conferences and the executive orders, the talking points, all the things that was going on during that first term. And so far, I either they haven't been doing it or I haven't seen it yet. But that was one of the things that irked me. So it was definitely nice to have that quiet time for the last 4 years.
yeah,
But things have definitely not been quiet, both in social media and the news, with all the stuff going on. So I have a few, like you said, topics that we're going to dive into. Some of the bigger ones that have kind of popped up. I don't know the exact count on here, but this is a list of all the executive orders. There was a lot on January 20th. But every day there's a new one or a new few of them, as you can see, that have been that have been put out by Trump and his administration. And there's been a lot of shakeup, a lot of discussion, a lot of talk, and a lot of drama behind some of these. And so we're going to dive into that. Any that jump out at y'all that y'all want to talk about first? I got a few already on my little list here.
I, the DE and I.
The DEI. Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
because
let's get
we
right
and
into it.
it's crazy that let me just tell you. Let me just come like so. I work in HR. Everybody knows that I work in HR. We one of our areas is diversity and inclusion. So we're DNI, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and we just had a meeting talking about like 'cause we have all these different programs to kind of they call them ERGs that where we get to get information on different ethnic groups, religions, all this stuff to kind of explain like get a better understanding of the people we work for and stuff like that. Like they have programs throughout the year, like talking we the one I went to a couple of them, but the last one I could pop up in my head was Native American History Month. They were talking about the Native Americans, and then we got like we had like we call them informationals, where you get a bunch of information about these different religions. You get to know like the people you work with. some more in depth stuff about them. And it's like to be able to see those things in the workplace, and even in my workplace, so much diversity, and then to be slapped days later or a week later, and then this, it's just like wow.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. I mean, I know the biggest part of this drama has been some of the companies that have, stated that they've rolled back their DEI initiatives or their DEI based
Who
contracting and
said
things
that?
like that. So,
Who said
you
they
know,
did that?
you said what's that?
Who did that? What companies came out and yeah? Let's see who attached their name to that one.
It's a lot of them. It's a lot of them. Somebody put out a list, which I think was still an old list because they had Target on the list of companies that hadn't done it, but then it's been talk about how Target has rolled theirs back, and there was maybe only like 10 or 15 companies that had said, "Oh no, we're gonna still hold on to our initiatives," and then there was this laundry list like 30, 40 companies that kind of either come out or have been spotted, rolling theirs back. So, there's a couple lists out there. I can try to bring them up, but the executive this order that was put out. This was on looks like January 21st, 2025. He called it the Ending Illegal Discrimination and Restoring Merit-Based Opportunity Act, or presidential action, and
that man's hilarious.
yeah, basically talking about the long-standing federal civil rights protections and how he wants to restore those, because of the fact that companies, where did he put it? Um, Critical and influential institutions of American society, including federal government, major corporations, financial institutions, medical industry, large commercial airlines, law enforcement agencies, and institutions of higher education have adopted and actively use of dangerous, demeaning, and immoral race and sex-based preferences under the guise of so-called diversity, equity, and inclusion, or diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility that can violate the civil rights laws of this nation. So the drama behind it is, companies that small businesses rather that have, been able to take advantage of some DEI initiatives, are fearing that, that they, may get dropped or that they may not be able to renew their contracts. There's definitely a lot of federal government positions and agencies that have had to either stop their hiring based on this. Some companies have, race balancing or diversity balancing initiatives that will need to either roll that back or put a stop to that. If this continues. So it's it's got its ramifications, to how certain companies operate and try to provide opportunities for people of color, for women, and for other nationalities. So it's definitely wasn't something that most people wanted to hear. But what's your thoughts on this? And have you been seeing some of the complaints out in the field out there, and how do you think this is going to kind of pan out?
It's too much stuff to try to even keep up with.
Mhm.
I was listening to a podcast yesterday. They had somebody, a Democrat, running for something. Forgive me, I lost it. Where he was running from, which state he was running out of. But he said like they basically try to put so much out there that you can't answer like all of the bills. It's like when you got a leak and you can't plug all of the holes. So it,
Mm-hmm.
like you just try to plug a few, but that's how a couple of these BS joints get through. Is because you so busy fighting this one that you forgot about the other one, or you never
Mhm.
even saw it. It never came across your desk because y'all been too deep into the first 15, and now you got another 15, another 20, another 30. Like I seen some shit today that said he told them that he was canceling the FEMA
Oh
for
yeah,
California.
he said he wanted to stop FEMA. He wanted to stop. There's a couple things that he want to no longer participate with, which is
Because they said like he falsely said that they wasn't bringing water from Northern California to stop the fires.
Mm, yeah.
Like, I, how do you even how you how you even talk about this dumb shit? Like, and this is just week one or week two. Like, this is gonna be like this is gonna be some crazy shit, man.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people that are upset or agree with the diversity initiatives and all that stuff are okay, were okay or are okay with just people like us not being considered for positions because of who we are. It's already like it's already we have the issue with naming our kids some names that we name them that already lets them know that we're black, right? With that, and then it's just people with ethnic names. You already have that bias of people thoughts within the workplace, and now it's just like they're not going to have any opportunity. So you're going to go back to seeing the same people run companies that probably weren't doing good, and that you're going to see a lot of unemployment. And then he's thinking about lowering the unemployment payout. Like, so you're going to cause you're potentially causing a devastation to the workforce, right? And then you want to lower the unemployment to help these people find jobs. They're not going to find jobs because now what you're going to do is going to allow people to discriminate against many people, whether or not they're qualified or not. If you don't look like me, I don't want you at my job.
You know, one thing I never understand with job applications is why do they even have race on there? Like, because if you put like I don't want to say, then they just probably not even gonna call you because they'll have the option on there. But if you put that you don't want to say, then they probably just like, oh, all right, well, we'll skip this one. But if your name is Traquan or
Yeah.
Denisha or something to that effect, like I'm gonna assume that they're gonna think that you ain't a white boy. Like,
Yeah, but then again, you got white people with black people names. So and it was
Yeah.
I think they included only because I would think that they included just I guess to be able to balance out the
just to
diversity.
say that you got it, yeah, just to
Or just
make
the
it
balance
possible. Just
because we
like the
got so
women
many
voting.
black employees. We're not necessary. We filled our quota because at that point, you know, with these things, it was a quota. You could have two black people, so it was like, you know, all right, I got my two. I don't need no more. I told you I
That's
got
how
two. We
that's how
don't need no
baseball
more after this.
was. That's how the leagues is overseas. Like if you play ball overseas, my man used to play in oh god, where the hell was he playing in? Israel, I think. It was like you could only have two people that wasn't from the country on the team.
Mhm.
And once you got two people from outside of, it might not have been Israel. It was one of them countries. So, Australia. It was Australia. Once
Mhm.
you got two people that ain't from Australia on the team, like that's the quota. That's it. But that was the same shit that they was doing, like when they broke the color barrier. It would be like, all right, well, you can have one, and then
Mhm.
it was all right, well, you can have two. So it's like the same shit like the football. They got the Rooney Rule where you got to interview a minority candidate, but if you already know that you're giving a job to whoever this is, then you just bringing me in for a bullshit interview. You bringing Willie in for a bullshit interview just to say that you did it. Like that's the shit that I mean. That's just the way the game will always be played. Now they just eliminating the shit on paper, so you ain't gotta bring us in for the interview.
Yeah. I mean, the big thing is, you know, some of the opportunities and everything that they have put out there. Um, you know, I think from a standpoint of being able to show that you have the diversity that people want to see. And like you said, to the point about the applications having those questions on there, you know, it's about being able to kind of track your demographics in your company and being able to say, okay, yeah, we have, you know, this percentage of minorities in these positions or this percentage of minorities across the company and things like that. You know, tracking that information and being able to show, you know, either a diverse workplace or diverse leadership and things of that nature have become one of those essential markers for a good company or for a company that's doing what's right. But now also there's certain companies that are required to do it so that that way that they can meet certain federal, you know, civil rights guidelines, but it became a
Or
marker
being
for
compliant. Yeah.
yeah, for compliance. And I think that, you know, the language in this executive action, you know, still speaks to you know, companies having to adhere to the Civil Rights Act and not discriminating based on race and gender and things of that nature, but taking away certain programs or eliminating the importance of certain programs is kind of one of the things where those programs are kind of put in place to ensure that, you know, companies weren't hiding behind demographics, or that they weren't hiding behind the ability to say, oh, well, we do have, you know, minorities at our workplace, but they're not in leadership, or they're not in this, or we're not giving contracts to minority companies, and not being able, or not having to answer to that. That was one of the bigger things, right? Because you had certain companies, especially like retailers or companies that, you know, hire contractors, you didn't have to report that information under Civil Rights Act, but with the DEI initiatives, you did, you know. So I think that, you know, removing that, taking away those opportunities, or taking away those ways of tracking that type of contracting and hiring is you know, is the bad part of it. You know, it makes it more challenging for companies, or for people to be able to say, hey, I wasn't hired for this reason, or I didn't get a contract because of this reason. And a company can just say, hey, you know, we're hiring based on this, and we no longer have to you know, answer to these kind of accusations
or
or
two tokens on the board just to say we got them.
Exactly.
We can bring in Sonny so we can say we got a woman. We'll look at the minority hire and a woman, two birds, one stone. And we can bring Willie in. Like, we're very diverse.
But even that, it opens so much, because even not with just a race, you're talking about people with disabilities. A lot of jobs have initiatives to be diverse and hire people with disabilities. And you know, they come in with the combination if need be for a job, right? For certain jobs, they can do the job. They meet the minimum requirement to do the job. So, say if you have jobs that, like some of the jobs that we have, you would have to have a degree, right? So if the person has a degree for certain positions in our job, that means we're gonna essentially train you to do the job that we want you to do. The if you are disabled, you may need an accommodation, or you're in some instances they have different programs where you're guaranteed an interview. Whether or not you get the job is based off of you know, you being able to um, do well on your interview, and then also be able to meet the minimum requirement to be able to do the job, right? But it opens that allows that just because this is going on, this is my disability, I'm not being discriminated against because of my disability. I can still do the job, you know. Whereas some jobs may not want to hire people with disabilities, where a lot of these jobs do allow for that diversity and inclusion, or DEI, to allow em, employers to make them seriously consider and hire people that have disability. That some I don't see. I don't want to sound like I'm saying it wrong, but like people that have disabilities to be able to do the jobs that they can do, you know, and not just look at them as a person that's disabled. No, I can still work.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think that
disability, when they got the joint on the job applications for disability, like if you got high blood pressure, they consider that as a disability. Like the range of what's a disability is like can be from I got a lost limb, or like, cause I got like, well, the kind of work that I do, we got one guy I think he got like a prosthetic leg, but he can still do the work because he can still
Yeah,
lift and he can still, like, there's still so many different aspects of a build that you can do. So
right.
like, but a disability can't be a prosthetic leg and high blood pressure. Like how is these two things equating? What do these two things have to do with each other? Like, we need to like kind of get that defined down because you could be labeled as having a disability because you got whatever, like, and they can
Right.
just X you out because they ask you that, and then they list 4,000 damn things on a job application.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the one thing I also see is all these impacts that this, rolling this back has. But I think there's still a lot of companies that are going to continue their initiatives, or they're going to, kind of move them or adjust them for certain things. Because one of the things this one news station WPBF had reported that they were saying that the impact that this would have is things such as hiring practices, funding for anti-bias training, and grant money and grant funding for minority homeowners. And then there was oversight for that. But I think that there's going to be some companies that are still going to do a type of diversity training, but they may not call it diversity training. They may just call it tolerant.
Sensitivity training.
Oh, sensitivity training, right? There was a lot of companies that called it that before there was DEI, right?
Yeah.
And so they may still make some adjustments. And then there are certain companies that may still look to maintain a diverse workplace just out of the culture of their environment. There were some names on the list I think I showed earlier that we know that those companies have diverse workforce regardless of DEI. They've always had a diverse workforce. And I don't see them changing that just because DEI is no longer in place, right? So I think that thinking about what they're putting their money into, what they're focusing their retention policies on, what they're focusing their hiring practices on, may just get changed or adjusted, because they no longer have to do these things. One of the things that it was mentioning here is that the executive order put federal employees who work on DEI initiatives on paid administrative leave ahead of layoffs. And there's a lot of companies that have diversity CEOs, they are or executives rather. They have vice presidents and managers that head DEI initiatives and things like that. That gives them an opportunity to move those people out of those positions, or maybe even just remove those positions completely. But they may still have HR or recruiting positions that still are focused on creating a diverse, tolerant, and sensitive workplace and environment and comfortable environment, just because that's the culture of their environment. So
Yeah.
I don't see all companies changing just because they're so they say rolling back or stepping away from some of their DEI initiatives. So I don't think it's going to have major impact everywhere, but we will see certain companies making some changes that a lot of people just won't like.
Yeah.
Who gonna be the first one to jump out there and do some dumb shit?
Right,
And
right.
and this is always the problem. See, this was like the thing that people did in the '60s, is when whatever store comes out, if uh Mr. Leroy's hardware store came out and was on some bullshit, then the community said, "We not going to Mr. Leroy's hardware store. We gonna go the extra couple of blocks to get to the next one." And everybody would stand on it. The problem we got now is it'll be
Nobody's
three
standing on it.
dickheads. It'll be three dickheads going there just to go live on Instagram and tell you that they went there. It'll be somebody on TikTok doing the same shit, making a whole video outside of the store. And it's so much of the like, haha, I didn't do it, that really fucks up our whole situation these days.
Yeah.
So we're
Yeah.
gonna be the first company to come out, say it is one of the big companies. I don't even want to throw nobody's name out, associate you with nothing that you didn't associate yourself with. And would you gonna go, well, I like the wings that they make. I like the material that they use. They sell the fabric softener that I like like gonna sell 3 times a week. Like, how long people gonna stand on
Yeah,
that?
because
Like,
I
these
would be
dudes getting
heartbroken if
we gonna
Dove
stand
come
on
out
it.
with some nonsense. I
That's
love
what I'm
Dove.
saying, man. Hey, man, when Under Armour came out on that bullshit the first time the nigga won, I was like, God damn, I gotta be a little cold now. I'm gonna have to find me some new some new shit to put on under my shit.
Yeah.
Right. So one of the other things that came up behind the DEI drama was also a federal hiring freeze,
Oh
which
yeah.
a lot of concern in a lot of places, including folks who were in the middle of the hiring process and how they either had their offers rescinded, their applications pulled, and the positions that they were applying for, becoming canceled. And I think one of the bigger ones that kind of got a lot of traction online was a guy from I think it was from Texas who was moving to Waco, him and his wife, and he posted a plea to President Trump about the fact that his wife's position was rescinded and an offer was rescinded and the position was removed, although they were already in the process of moving to Waco. They were already looking forward to her taking on that new job and all the things. But and he posted in the post that he was a huge Trump supporter and that he wanted Trump to help them and figure out a way to.
And Trump ain't care all season.
Yeah, and that's the thing. There's a lot of people that definitely in the comments of that post, saying, hey, you effed around and found out,
that part
that Trump, doesn't care about certain things like this or didn't consider these kind of things. On top of the fact that there's a matter of fact, I have an article from Rolling Stone that talked about this, that a lot of the jobs that were stopped or a lot of positions that were taken away also involve veterans as well, that were our veterans positions, veterans hospital positions, veterans administration positions, and how this was harming veterans and their health care, their services that are supposed to be provided to them and things of that nature, and how these positions and these programs are being damaged by this hiring freeze as well as by these DEI initiatives being rescinded. And so now there's this big push. Veterans are saying they're upset that the Trump administration didn't consider this and didn't offer protection.
But he didn't consider a lot of shit. Like it ain't nothing. Y'all was fine with him not considering women and thoughts and birth and all the stuff the surrounding what we do with our bodies. Y'all didn't consider that. Y'all don't care. So this is here and this is why I said this during election time. I said this right after and they said that he won. I said I hope everybody that supported him and voted for him get what they deserve. We saw it right after. Once he started saying what he was going to get rid of and stuff, and people not realizing what he was talking about, and all of a sudden it affects them, and it's like, wait a minute, no, you signed up for this. That man ain't know what the hell he was doing or what he was saying, or even if he knew what he was doing, he don't care. He don't care about y'all. Like he really don't. And I don't care how much you think he care about you, how much he let y'all come to rise and tap y'all up and say nice things to y'all, make y'all think that he gave a fuck about y'all. He had to give a fuck all season, like all season. Why are y'all shocked now? Why are y'all pleading with this man that don't care about you? He don't. And all he's doing is, excuse me, my phone don't even care about him. But all he doing is showing y'all this whole presidential stint is fuck around to find out. And a lot of people fucked around. A lot of people are finding out. And now they're like, oh, like, and this is and like when you hear the different arguments people had about why they wanted to vote for him. Like I said, as a woman, what bothered me the most is saying I didn't want a woman in the office. A woman is too emotional. She don't even know what she's doing. This man don't know what he's doing.
He's very emotional.
And he's very emotional. He's a fucking toddler that can press a button and start a war. But y'all not like he's a fucking child. It's like dealing with a toddler that's going through the motion and getting mad because people don't like him and he's just having a moment. He been doing it. Why are we acting like he gave him like why y'all want him to care down? He don't care about y'all. You crying and pleading and sounding dumb. Like, let me shut up because I could say some stuff.
You gotta always remember though, this nigga ain't a politician.
That part.
This nigga don't know what he doing. He's winging it. He's on some shit where it's like, yo, these other rich niggas is the bottom line is to get rid of the middle class. You want to have the we really got it niggas and the we fucked up niggas. That's what this is all about. All right. we can talk about it 6 ways to Sunday. That's what 90% of this shit is about: is divide and conquer. We want to have all the shit, and we don't want you to have any of the shit. And then we
Mhm.
gonna make sure that we put all kinds of laws and shit in place so that we can keep the shit after I'm gone, and you can still not have none of the shit.
Yeah,
That
because
way
you
we
don't care.
can
But like,
create a
oh my,
generation of haves and have-nots. That's the long and short of this whole thing. Because we can run through this whole list and find the whole. Like I said, there's too many holes in the wall. You can't plug all these motherfuckers.
yeah, he don't like the bottom of the line is you don't give a fuck about none of us. Not
Not at
none of us.
all.
I don't know why we want him. Y'all want him to care so bad. That man hasn't cared.
Just like the tariff shit. People don't know what a tariff is. Wait till the TVs is
That's a
triple the
big
price
one.
of TVs was. People think, man, Trump is back and it's going to be all this money. Like, again, I don't think people remember that there was an actual global pandemic and that you thought if you waved to a nigga, you die. I guess people don't remember that because it's 5 years later. But when a nigga coughed, you cleared the room. People don't remember none of that. All they remember is they got $1,200 that time and you couldn't go nowhere to spend it. So it was just sitting in your account. And then you got some more money and you couldn't go nowhere to spend it. So it was just sitting in your account. So now you just remember all this money that you had, but you don't remember all of the other shit when you were stuck in the fucking house and all of that. But
Right.
uh Dad, this is just me. This
No,
is what we
people
get.
so hung up on what people can do in their
Open
relationships.
text
Like I've
checks.
heard so many people like, well, he don't support the he only say it's two genders. Who cares? We like they can make 7, 8, 8, 11 of them bitches genders. They ain't got nothing to do with me. I know who
Right.
I am. I don't necessarily care about who doing what.
Now,
People are so focused on that this is why you vote for this man, not realizing that he said that about this, but he'll even like y'all.
I will say now, at one concert, we doing the setup. I went to the men's room. Okay, I was cool, went in there, peed, and came out. I come back for the out. I said, all right, before we get started, let me go run to the bathroom real quick. I walked in, it was a chick standing there. Hold up. It was
That
a
part
four.
I just feel like that's a
It said for everybody. I'm like, all right, so hold up. She was like, oh, just come on in. Cause see, if I'm at the urinal and you walk in and then I like happen to turn because the door just opened, this could be a sexual assault situation, and now she
Yeah,
has
I feel
violence
like,
for
and
us.
that's what I feel like.
Mm-mm.
Like even as a person, a part of that community, I feel like it's not that I'm trans or anything, just whatever.
I'm about to
Uh,
say that's not a
You know,
community. That's just
no,
let's keep the
no,
signs on the door, move
no,
our
but
signs
no,
over
but
there.
this is the thing of the inclusion, right? I feel like when we talked about this on, I don't even know what episode of the podcast that we did. We talked about them having the same bathrooms for the boys and girls in school, right? Now, yes, I believe that everybody should be who they want to be and whatever you choose to be for yourself, that's perfectly cool. From an HR standpoint, as long as you got a document, a legal document saying that your name is changed and now it's this, and this, we're gonna call you whatever. If you are still listed as a male under our thing, you're going to be addressed as a male until you get the documentation. Same like a name change. You have to change your name for us to be able to identify you as this person because people change their name, then you can't find people because you don't know who the fuck their new name is. They got married, don't know who this person is looking for them. You can't call them because they got an old name. So as far as from an HR standpoint, we need you to update your information. Not being insensitive, but we just need your information to make sure that it's updated across the board. That way you won't be offended or have a problem when somebody's calling you a man and you now transition into a woman. But outside of that, you can be whoever you want to be. I just feel like for our kids, I have a problem when we're putting it for them. Like I'm grown. I can choose to participate, not care, give a fuck, be upset, enraged, or whatever the case may be. That's my personal opinion. These kids are totally different. I feel like as a parent, we're introducing we we're having our children introduced to things that we have to explain them, right? And while inclusion is great and all that stuff, and I want to support people who that's what you want to do, it's cool. But I feel like it's too much to be explained to my 3-year-old that may be going to school and now in class with all the stuff because now you got kids saying they identify as pets, cats, and all this extra shit. Like I had a whole conversation at work where some girl was telling me they have a kitty litter box inside of the bathroom because some kids are identifying as cats or furries or whatever the fuck that is. To each his own. But I feel like with our kids, it should be. once they're grown. I feel like this is just a lot for our kids, especially the younger ones. It's a lot for them. So for me,
What
I
Star talk
don't
about?
necessarily agree with that, but at the end of the day, I'm not going to
What
be
Star talk
harping
about
on
something
that
like that?
for everybody that's grown.
You can't put kids in adult situations and tell them to stay in a child's place. My kids, at their school, they had one of them like unisex bathroom, and I told them are not allowed to use this bathroom. You pee on yourself before you go to hell in here. If
Mhm.
you don't know who's in here or what's in here, we ain't doing that. You got a
Yeah, I don't even
bathroom,
know.
just
I mean,
go with the girl
yeah,
in
my son is autistic, and like
the skirt.
he's so nonchalant with going to the bathroom. Like if he got to go, he's going. And I don't want him to get in trouble because it's some girl
Cause it's
walking in
yeah,
now.
cause it's something
It's a
that
big to do. It's a
exactly.
scary situation, especially for a black boy. So I just feel
That's
like
why I
certain
said I
things.
went in this same bathroom before the show started and it was cool. I
Mm,
come back in here, Sonny, and now you're at the urinal. What are you doing in here?
yeah. I seen some lady standing up peeing backwards. I was trying to figure it out. I wanted to tell my boyfriend to slow the car down so I can like. I think I just saw what I saw, and I don't understand it, so I need to go look again. And he was like, "Go no." Like, what are you talking about?
That's
I'm like,
what
no,
I said. Oh no, I'll hold it.
that
No
is
problem.
happening over there. No, but I just feel like I like, and and I say this with not necessarily no malice or anything. Like I don't. There's no malice behind it. I just feel like for our kids, it's too soon.
Mhm.
That's why I feel like, because like I said, be who you are. I like you like it. I love it. I don't. It's none of my business. You don't lay with me every
Motherfuckers
day.
sexualizing things are
You don't
crazy.
pay my bills. You don't do anything for me. So what you choose to do with your life has absolutely nothing to do with me. I just feel like when we're talking about our children, especially young, I feel like it's too young for them to be introduced to something like that. I feel like at the point when they're old enough to comprehend, maybe high school, we can have those conversations, or even late middle school, maybe. I feel like our grade school kids, I don't want them sharing bathrooms with the same sex. I mean, like, yes, they have in my son's school, they have bathrooms in the class, so they can one at a time. It's not multiple stalls or anything like that. But it's just I feel like that's too soon for our kids, and it's just a lot that I feel like we're putting on our kids, and at that young age, they don't really understand, and it's a lot. Like I feel like that's something you can just start discussing in like eighth grade, and then when you get to high school, of course, you can have those more in depth conversations because I think they're more older and they can understand better than them. I don't have a 5-year-old, but if I had a 3-year old or whatever kid, I don't want them asking me questions like that, and trying to
I feel
explain
you.
something that I know that they're not really going to understand.
Yeah, the little one to B5. That's what I'm saying.
so
I
so so
hear that conversation.
so hearing the both of you talk about this, this goes back to this executive action on basically ideology protection. It's called the Defending Women from Gender Ideology Extremism, and restoring biological truth to the federal government executive order. So this is one of the orders he signed on January 20th, and so looking at this order, and the effort being put into this of removing any kind of gender ideology and establishing just distinct and discrete definitions for sex. Women as women are women, men are men, female is female, male is male, and then taking out the gender ideology out of any kind of policies, out of any kind of statements and things of that nature. Do you think this is one? Do you think it's legal? Do you think it's something that the president, as a representative of this government, as the leader of this government, can say that this government can only identify and recognize male, female, men, women, and that's it? Or do you think this is something that is wrong or that is just illegal from
I feel
that?
like so even though I said all that before, I feel like it's illegal, right? It's the same as telling a woman what to do with her body. People are gonna do whatever they choose to do with themselves, right? Um, wh- while I understand some of the logic behind it, right? For and I'm gonna say this not necessarily representing my job, but just representing the occupation in which I work for H. Like I work in HR. Um, like I said, it's almost I would treat it the same way we would do with a marriage or any type of like name change, right? So if you're changing your name to be whatever, it's the legal documentation. You have to go down legally change the paperwork and blah 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 blah. So if you are transitioning to be another sex and you want your name changed, there's a process that needs to happen. So like if you want to be identified as if you were formerly a him that wants to be identified as a her, or a her that now wants to be a him, or whatever it is. Now the thems and that's a little that's extra. But I'm just saying, like for her and him, we need documentation because, like I said, if you're working in a company and you want to be identified and addressed as such, there needs to be a paper trail to see so that way we can update the paper trail so that way everybody's on board. Now, how you present outwardly, that's nothing to do with what we can do, how people are going to address you. But from a business standpoint, now we can say if Tom is now Tammy, now Tom's no longer we don't Tom is gone. Now we have Tammy, whatever last name, and now we're addressing her as her versus him. So now we're aware of this, and then now maybe an email can go out and say, okay, from henceforth, blah blah blah. Like we don't have like if you want to tell your story. But now we at least know how to identify you on paperwork and emails. They know how to address you and any type of form of communication that could be offensive if now they're calling you a him and you're no longer a him anymore. So I feel like from that point on, it should be treated like if you're married. If you're now, if I'm now
basically
Sonny,
your legal status.
yeah,
so
like if I get married to John Middleton, now I'm Sonny Middleton, and my last name wasn't Middleton. I need paperwork showing that. So now we're updating all the information. The Social Security card is updated that way. Everything that we have down to your health benefits and all now address you as such. I feel like if you're doing that, it needs to be especially for work. We need to be identified because, like I said, I work in a place where people have nicknames. They you can choose your email if it's a common name. You can tailor your email name to be a little bit tailored if you have a common name, right? So if you go by your middle name, but you don't go by your first, so now you can say R William and whatever your last name is. So now your email says William instead of your first name starts with an R, right? But we need to know how to identify you. Yes, we need to identify you. But when you look a person up, you're going to see their full name. So you know you're contacting the right person and you know how to address them. But I feel like that's the route we should go. Not necessarily that way, because I feel like that's an overstep, right? But I feel like it should be treated as such. If you're getting married, you're changing your name. You can choose to change your name, you can choose not to, and all those things. I'll give me some paperwork, I'll change it, and we'll call you whatever we need to call you. Because now we have legal documentation showing that now everything is now updated and changed, and everything in our system is correct. It's not this way in this system, that way in that system. It's all cohesive.
Yeah, so it looks like now with this executive order, and if he passes this, or if he gets this these adherences to these sections done, such as this within 30 days, the Secretary of Health and Human Services has to provide the U.S. government, external partners, and the public clear guidance expanding on sex-based definitions. Then it looks like those options will be taken away because you have to be biologically male, biologically female, so you can no longer make that choice.
I feel like that's an overstep.
What you think, Hein?
I plead the fifth.
No.
Hein said, "I'm not trying to get
Well, no, because you have to be. Because I mean, everybody's opinion is going to differ. Like I said, it's people, not even just men, that believe that would agree with that wholeheartedly. Like I said, I understand the logic, and you're like that's why I say, even though people don't necessarily like when you open up stuff for discussion, people are not always going to agree. So while I may stand strong on how I feel, Hype has every reason not to say that this is your opinion, but I'm just a spitballer here. But I feel like if you feel like no, it's this and this and nothing else, cool. You should be able to say that without any backlash because guess what? We all have opinions. Like everybody has assholes. Everybody has what they think about things. And you're not necessarily your opinion is not necessarily going to be mine. But at the end of the day, does that make you I don't want to say a bigot. What's the word I want to use? Like to say that you're like homophobic or whatever the case may be, or transphobic or whatever phobic they want to call you. No, you have an opinion.
I feel like I don't understand any of these things that people are doing. So
Yeah, I don't. And it.
Go ahead.
No,
yeah, I don't understand it either.
Yeah, I don't when people have these type of situations. I don't understand what it is that you're trying to do. I don't understand what led you to this point. I never woke up and felt like I wanted to be a woman. My daughters, I would assume, have never felt like they wanted to be boys. So, like, I've never been presented with this on a front line situation. So, I don't want to speak from a place of just flat ignorance to the subject because I can't relate. I don't have anything that will equate. I don't have the experiences here to have a discussion about this because it's just not something that's ever come up in my world.
So let me restate the question then. Do you feel the government has the right to restrict the thoughts, feelings, and opinions of their citizens based on their ideology about gender, sex, and biology?
I don't think that the government has the right to do any of that because if you listen, you can't just listen flat out to the government because the government also told us that we were 3/5 of a person.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
you can't always go with because somebody put something down on paper that's just what it is. Everybody, like you said, everybody got opinions. Whoever wrote this shit, this was just their opinion.
Yeah.
You could one thing like
Trump probably didn't even
my wife
read
was
it.
talking about this the other what that's why I said whoever came up with this shit, he's not this eloquent. We was
Right.
talking about this shit the other day, and it's like offended is a choice. If somebody says the word nigga, you can either choose to be offended or choose not to be offended. If somebody says bitch, you could choose to be offended, you cannot be offended. That's just all in the perception of the person, which which way the words went with them. And for me, it's like these are like I said, the same people who told you you were 3/5 of a person. So why would you put any weight on what the fuck that they're saying? Like, why would it matter to you their opinions? We all have opinions. If I ask my 4-year-old what does she think or feel about whatever, she's going to tell you some shit. It might not make sense because like she's not thinking on this level or she hasn't been presented with these things in her life because she's 4. But people gonna do what they gonna do. People gonna feel how they gonna feel. You can't tell nobody how to feel or what they. You can't tell nobody what they feel inside of them because it's inside of them. If I stub my toe right now, Sonny can't tell me that shit don't hurt, or I can't tell her I can't tell her what it is to me if she ain't been there.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and I agree with you in terms of we can't put a lot of weight on what other people feel or other people think about how we are or what we are and what we feel we are, things of that nature. I think the one dangerous thing about this is when you set forth certain acts and actions with the government and now it's counter to what people feel is their inherent right in their civil liberty in order to be the person that they want to be, and then you have an act like this where we may not agree with or relate to or even be affected by the things that this thing is going against or that this law is prohibiting. But when I'm reading things like the meaning set forth in section 2 of this order when interpreting or applying statuses, regulations, guidance, and all other official agency business documents and communications, that just tells me the government is setting forth a bowl or a ball or rolling thing that don't have to stop in terms of how you're protected, how you're treated, how you're regulated, things that you.
It opens up so many opportunities to add like what's and that's the thing like that's what it ties into the DNI and the civil rights thing. It's so many things that you think it's just affecting this one thing, but then it's like it's the gateway drug to so many other things that could happen because if you let this slide, what's next?
Yeah, definitely what's
But
next.
see, this is also like we saying, where this is how people are these days. You give them an inch and they take a mile. You got kids identifying as animals
Mhm.
because you're giving them like. So I'm quite sure you got like adults who marry and who try to say I'm marrying my goat and shit like that. I'm gonna
Mhm.
marry my
What's
pig.
gonna be what's gonna be next is the pedophiles trying to petition to be a part of the LGBTQ uh, IA plus community and say that this is they can't help who they love and all like because that
This
then
is what I'm saying.
it gets so that line gets so blurred and then stuff like that like it's oh my god like I was watching the Holocaust thing last night and I put something on Facebook and I said and the lady was like the fact that people supported Hitler was just astounding because they supported him from the gate. Like it was like 1 minute everything was fine, next minute it's like we
Oh,
don't like
really?
Jews, let's kill them all. Like let's get rid of them and kill them all. And it was
What channel
everybody
was
was
that
okay. It was
on?
celebrated. It was so much things. And like I watched that last night because it's coming around that time, and it's just like it's scary to think, and it's so like I'm an extreme overthinker, but like I think like that type of thing. Like, are we going like this is the? I feel like so many things are happening that it's scary to think that one day we could be fine, the next day we could either be in slavery or have a whole Holocaust situation or something worse because it, this thing that we let like a little tear. Like it's almost like pulling the string on your shirt, and then it goes into the not now your shirt is completely wrong. It's kind of like what is next, and it's scary to think what's next because if you're taking away our rights as women to say whether or not we want to have children or not, now you're taking away diversity, inclusion, and civil rights. Then you're taking away how if you're trying to attempt to like take away our feelings and what we feel and like it's are we going that way or are we not? And I hope like this like last night it was just like I just sat there like thinking to myself before I even went to bed, like this is crazy. Because all Hitler came in on the scene was with an ideal or a thought. And he came
What
in
channel
and
was
he
that on?
I was watching HBO. They got the it's like the Holocaust stuff now popping up with things. I watched a couple of them. But it was just like they were talking about this couple that left I think they were living in Philadelphia, left Philadelphia and went to Nazi Germany to rescue 50 kids. And they were basically saying like 1 minute they were living in the house, going to school, and the next day everything changed. Like they had Hitler was talking the talk, and then once he got in, it was like this is like how quickly it turned from we kicking y'all out your house and letting these people move in your house because y'all nothing to y'all losing your jobs, y'all can't go to school, to now you're getting shipped off to the ghetto, to being shipped off to camp. And now our final solution is to kill as much as we can, kill as much of you people as we can possibly. They killed 1.5 million children just to stop Jews from existing.
Mm.
Like this is like when I don't know why, but when I hear Trump and then when Elon Musk did what he did, it was just like hell no. This if nothing else scared me, that shit scared me because it's like you could talk and talk, but then when you get these laws passed and life change and people don't realize how quickly life can change for us, it's a scary thought.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely see what you're saying in terms of how this thing could escalate and how this thing could change to something more sinister. You know, we always hope that it doesn't, but then I think there are certain things that are still telltale to that, in that things does get sinister for certain people and certain groups, right?
Yeah.
And one of those is, we recently saw the news about a lot of the deportations that are
Oh
happening.
yeah.
And the deportations, I can't pinpoint the exact executive order that kind of kicked that off, but there was a I guess some kind of, what was it called, expedited removal, order of expedited removal,
Yeah.
which the U.S. to deport, someone without
Of
a court
citizens,
hearing.
though.
What was that?
Yeah, but they were doing it like the way he did it that scared people the most was he was going like if your mom came in the company in the country illegally but had you can't be here. We taking y'all out. Like this.
That's
He
what
was
I
talking
said.
about it
Like
all
they was
nonchalant. Like, yeah, we
citizens.
try to get the family together, keeping them together by kicking them all out. Like it's and then you're not even it's crazy because I've heard stories within my city of ICE agents knocking on doors and stuff.
So I found it. I didn't realize it was right there.
These are the same
So
people that was
protecting.
asking to vote for you 3 months ago.
That part.
Yeah. So it looks like it identified it as the protecting the American people against invasion executive order. It's where here it is. Over the last.
Imagine if you voted for this nigga and now they kicking
Well,
you
that's what's
out.
happening, right? They was
And that's
going
a
to
lot of
schools
people
and
are saying.
churches getting people
Yeah.
kids.
Yeah, I heard about that. He was going in churches getting people. Yeah, I heard about that one.
And the schools was
That's what I'm
fighting back and
saying.
was like, we not letting y'all in. We calling CPS. What the hell?
What is the John? Tell me what was the order about? I think it was like African American studies or something like that. If your school teaches anything of
Oh,
that
it's no more
nature,
Black history. It's just, I mean, well, basically they're trying to wipe certain things out of history,
yeah,
or
you don't
you
get
know,
no. Your school doesn't get no funding no more if you teach it.
Oh, race critical theory.
yeah.
Ah, there we go.
Yeah.
My daughter
Critical
was
race.
asking me
It's called
about that.
critical race
Critical
theory.
race theory. Yeah.
Yeah.
My daughter was
Mhm.
asking me about that this morning. She was like, I heard Trump canceled Black History Month. Like, that's not exactly what happened. Like,
Well, is it? Is it? That's saying.
oh
Right.
no. So I asked her one day, my oldest daughter, something about Malcolm X, and she was like, who's Malcolm X? Sit down, we're about to watch this documentary.
Oh my God. Oh, I love Malcolm X.
So,
He's a Taurus too,
so
just so we know.
me and my wife watch what's the Godfather of Harlem was Bobby Johnson and Malcolm X, and she then turned into Malcolm. She's Malcolm X'd out now. She didn't got the book from Malcolm X's wife. She got the book on this one and that
Then
one. We just watched another documentary the other day.
yeah. And then they said he's released Martin Luther King and how he died, which is crazy.
What was
Oh
that?
yeah, they was
They
releasing
re- they
Martin
released
Luther
the
King.
autopsy results. He didn't die because he got shot. He died due to was it strangulation? Not strangulation, was it suffocation?
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
apparently
you
it's
it's
alleged
easy to
that
suffocate.
somebody suffocated him while he was in the hospital bed.
Oh, that's crazy.
It was a doctor and somebody else in the room, and they basically was like, gotta take him out, and they suffocated him. So his wound that he got shot on the balcony was not a fatal wound. He was in the ICU, but it wasn't fatal.
Wow.
Allegedly, that's what I haven't read it, but that's what the talk has been and what they said. They released it. I forget who posted it. Which news outlet posted it. But yeah, he didn't die from the shot. He died from um um being smothered. Well, yeah,
See,
suffocated.
I see, and if somebody, it been too many people to have passed by that information in the past 50, 60 years for me to like believe that one. Like
Mhm.
now it just come out.
Well, they said that the family they released it to the family. I guess the family leaked it to the press because they basically gave them the unsealed autopsy because they never knew
Mm.
like what like
Even that,
they always assumed that he died from the gunshot wound, and apparently that wasn't
but
the
just
case.
because you gave me some documents saying that that's what happened, like again, anybody can write any damn thing into the report. It's not like you gonna really you can't go back 60 years and be there in the room when all of this happened.
Yeah,
So like you could tell me anything or you could put anything on paper. You could be doing this just to fuck with me. Let's just see what they say if we show them this. Like
yeah. I don't know, but the family have released a statement and said that they wanted to have time to process everything, and apparently a nurse had came forward back then and said what happened, and they unsealed her statement or whatever. So we'll see. When they finally come, I guess we'll see.
Yeah, I
Even
mean,
then,
it's
like back in them days, like you going to the hospital, like everybody's with the fuckery. So
Yeah,
that whoever in the hospital, even let's just say, like for argument's sake, that that's what happened. That's such and such cousin. That's such and such man he went to school with. It's all the same shit. They don't fuck
yeah,
with him just because you're a doctor doesn't mean that you fucked up black people no more than the cop or whoever the fuck else. Like,
yeah.
so
yeah. I mean, yeah. The so I looked up the suffocation thing, and it looks like this is something that's been kind of circulating for several years, and because when you mentioned it, I'm thinking like I know I've heard something like that before.
Yeah, I had never
So,
heard that.
yeah, so USA Today, I guess, did a fact check article about it a couple of years ago, exactly 3 years ago, actually, in 2022. And according to their investigation, they felt that it was a false accusation, and that it was that there's no documentation to prove the point or to prove the
you would
version
have
of
to have
that
the
of that of
Yeah,
that
videos of that. Yeah,
story.
like
But I think that's one of those things that are always going to go down in history as one of those
things that you
there's
don't.
going to be
Yeah,
conspiracy theories around it. There's going to be conjecture. There's going to be opinions and things of that nature. But it's always going to be hard to prove because
it's
if
so many
there's
years
no
later.
documentation or if there's no evidence, how do you prove something like that other than what somebody says, and what somebody said is now being challenged as they were basically saying that it was a way to kind of exonerate James Earl Ray, and that it was something that was started by his attorneys and just never caught wind until
Yeah,
later on
I,
in the social media era.
that's why I'm saying like
yeah,
you would have to have had the photos from the autopsy.
yeah. That's why I
You know what
said,
I mean?
yeah. I want to see what the family, because the family, like I said, they made it. From what I saw, they made a statement. So if they do process it, I think they, if they wanted to know, they could exhume his body and see if that, I mean, that's what if they really want to know, like the final way you exhume the body and let somebody
But even
do
then, his
a pass.
body he ain't got no body left now. Like
Right,
It's
yeah. At this
gone.
point, exhuming is not going to really teach you anything because
yeah,
how do you?
his bones not gonna show you like the strangulation marks around the skin that was
Well, I
around
don't
the
know.
nigga too. It's too early,
I'm
bro.
not whatever they call it. What's it called? The doctor that
CSI folks.
A forensics expert.
a pathologist, whatever. Yeah, I'm not that. So but I'm just
Yeah.
saying they said they gonna sit with it. So we'll see. Like I'm curious to see what they'll do
Well,
with
I
it
mean,
since they got it.
too, knowing Bernice King, if it was any validity to that story, she would have put it out there, and she has not put it out there. So
Yeah,
I'll have to go with what the USA Today figured out, and just kind of leave that be. But back to the situation with the deportations. I mean, going back to what you were saying earlier, Sonny, about how some people have effed around and found out there was definitely a large Hispanic turnout in support of the Trump administration. And a lot of people are saying that was basically them finding out that he doesn't care about them or their people. But to the point a couple of people made to me before was that a lot of people that are naturalized or natural born citizens here that have ties to Hispanic countries and Mexican in the Mexican country actually still feel the same way that Trump does about immigrants and illegal immigrants and aliens, that them coming over illegally is wrong and that they shouldn't be allowed and things like that. So some of them may not be sorry or may not care that they are doing these mass deportations. I just think that the scarier, the sad part about it is some of the language and some of the things that were used in order to allow some of these deportations to happen is that just because you're born here, but if your parent didn't have naturalization or wasn't made a citizen, then you can still be deported. These people don't know anything about these countries where their parents came from.
yeah,
So how do you deport somebody to a country that they've never lived in or that they've never had any ties other than parental ties to? and where are they going to go? And these countries have no way of taking them in and doing anything for them to help them get a life in those countries. So deportation for that reason is just is inhumane.
Yeah. He don't care. Oh, dude.
Yeah, and then I also just found out that there's been protections in place around schools and other organizations that were originally known as safe havens, where a child or a person couldn't be wrangled up and deported from, and now those protections have been reduced or removed, and so now ICE or any of their agencies can go, or Homeland Security can go into a school and pull kids up out of the school, which is scary and traumatizing to the student, to the other students, to that poor child, while their process is happening and things of that nature. So I just think the whole thing is just it's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, like think about the kid. You snatched somebody got 2 kids in the school. You didn't snatch their 2 kids, and now for the rest of forever, the kids in that class is like, "Why the hell would I call the cops? They took my best friend."
Yeah.
Like, when we was 6, they took my man out of school. We was coming down the sliding board. They snatched the little nigga off before he caught the bottom of the slide. Like,
Yeah. Just want to know,
I
how do
ain't.
ICE agents feel about having now their job is now doing that? Because you understand the job that you signed up for, right? But like
Mhm.
now that you're just snatching people that you just don't know nothing about these countries, like how hard your job would be.
This is my problem with them joints. Why do they always act like they can't say no? What they
Because
gonna
they
do if
can't.
you be like, yeah, just like when they be like, "Oh, we had to bomb this country." You overseas somewhere, and you're bombing a fucking school. Again, these are just
Mhm.
kids. These kids ain't got shit to do with whoever runs the government wherever. Like,
Yeah,
we gonna bomb a hospital. Why the fuck do we got to do that? Oh, because that's what they told us to do. Okay, what the fuck that mean?
yeah,
People say you
it's
should have.
but that's the
People go to
thing
work
is that
People go
they
to work
they
every
signed
day.
up to adhere to all orders from their president, and to execute those orders without prejudice and without pushback. And if you don't, you go to jail. And that's the sad fact of it.
I'd
I mean,
rather go to jail than
some
bomb.
people
I would
will
rather
buck the
go to
system
jail
and
than
end
bomb
up
the
in
fucking.
jail, but
That's what I'm saying. I would rather go to jail than like, all right, we're gonna go bomb the school. Bet let's go just knock off Martin Luther King High School in whatever state.
Mhm.
Like, let's just go bomb the elementary school. Like,
Right.
yeah, I'm fuck it. I'll go to jail. I'll take the jail time before we kill all these fucking kids.
Yeah,
A
but
lot
if
of
you
people,
don't do it, somebody else going to willingly go in there and do it.
I mean, that's
exactly.
cool, but I didn't do it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't worry about what somebody else is doing. There's plenty of shit that you got to work and you said like, yeah, I'm not fucking with that, but somebody else is gonna do that shit.
Yeah. It's just sad because it's like, Jesus, I don't know. Uh, uh, uh. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
It's just a thing to like, and then like people were worrying about like how far back was he going? Because if I'm a mom and I didn't have my rights in here in the United States, and I came here and I had my kids, but my mom didn't, or I had my rights, my mom didn't. My mom's gone. Like now you're just gonna take me and my kids and just like, all right, we out. You gonna put y'all back over there?
So even that, like, so if the dad is from here, now you just took my whole fucking family.
Yeah.
Or if the mom is from here, now you done took the dad and the kids. Like, how do shit is just this like it's shit stupid.
It's just a scary thing. I feel like it's
But
a
this is
lot of
the
people
type of
gonna
shit
be in
that this is the
hiding.
type of
It's gonna
shit.
be a lot of
This is the
people.
bullshit that y'all out here doing. This the bullshit you out here focusing on, and not the actual politics and shit that you need to. Like, this is what we need you to be focused on, policies and trying to get the fucking
Lowering the prices.
inflation the fuck down. Trying to find a way for us to get some more fucking money out of it. How is everything cost more, but you ain't made no fucking more? Like, we
Yeah,
figuring that shit out. Not like, all right, hold on, little Manuel is in science at 3 o'clock, so we gonna go slide on his class.
yeah,
And this one, these niggas go to church, they go to choir practice on Tuesday, so we gonna slide down on them. Like, we trying to figure that out and not the important shit. This is the dumb shit. Like I said, give you a bunch of bullshit to blind you with.
they trying
This
to get a
shit,
bunch of people out the
they
way.
blinding us with all of this bullshit. So what are they really trying to do? Is what the real question is.
And it ain't even just it's not even just Latin people, Latin or Spanish speaking people. It's other people that came here illegally that's here.
Yeah, no
They
doubt.
like it's about to be crazy.
Yeah, yeah, definitely crazy, definitely crazy. So last thing I wanna bring up is some of the fake news.
Oh yeah, about the child support.
Yeah. So
Some
what?
men was
So
going in over that one, but go on.
yeah. So okay. So you did hear about? I don't know. Have you heard about this one? Hank?
I didn't hear about this. I don't have any child
Oh,
support. Both of my kids are with
oh,
my wife. Hey, baby.
So right. So
some men was
apparently,
losing their goddamn mind about this one.
yeah. So apparently, a guy got online and basically was like, "Oh, have y'all heard Trump is signing a law where if a guy is paying child support, then the woman, the mother, can't claim the child on her taxes because the guy's paying child support." And so, like Sonny said, a lot of people losing their minds about this. Um,
Oh,
yeah, and so when people finally when all the smoke cleared behind all the debate and all the upheaval about it, the guy came out and was like, "Oh no, this was just a joke. I was just joking, whatnot." So one, what do you think about that situation of somebody putting that out there? What they call it?
Debate.
Basically, yeah. I mean, putting it up there for debate, but also, it, it, out of everything else that Trump has done, it sounded plausible and feasible to people, right? So do you think there's something that people need to be more cautious of, more careful about, fact check for themselves, or do you think it's just the way of the world in terms of how social media, the firestorms that social media can start?
I think it just proves that people don't find out shit for themselves. They get everything from a social media outlet. And this man posted it to his TikTok and his YouTube. So you went straight off of that. You didn't go research. You didn't do nothing. This man said this. So the fact, how many people reposted that video and shared their commentary on it and went on it. And I feel like as a female, it just, we're always the problem. We are always the worst. We need to pick better people to have kids with. Everything is always our fault, right? Especially when it comes to child support. We knew who this man was and this, that, and the third. And we could break down the different scenarios of how people end up on child support, from being a dad to just being a deadbeat because, life didn't work out the way you want. You no longer have the girl you had for various reasons or whatever the case may be. But it just showed me that people are gullible as hell. And even when people were like some people asked me my opinion on it. They were like, "Hey, what do you think?" And I don't have a comment because to me it sounds ass backwards. So if we're keeping it honest, it's a lot of people that are on child support, women included. Some people are back child support. A lot of people that aren't. Most people that are on child support, not most, probably half of the people that are on child support owe back child support. So even if you work, so I looked at it like this: even if this was a fact, right? Fact, and this was the case. If you owe child support, you're not even getting that money, sir. You can claim these kids all you want. They're going to take it and give it back to the other parent anyway, because the other parent is taking care of this child, and you haven't been paying your child support, so you owe anyway. So it's yours anyway. And still, it made me think of, what if this was a fact, right? If, let's say for peace sake, it was a fact. So we're gonna have people claiming their kids now. We're gonna have dads stepping up to claim their kids because a lot of them don't claim these kids that look just like them. I know a couple people that ain't claiming kids that know that out there. But now you're gonna be, a dad and claim your kids because you can get some money and stuff. And for the guys who are actively in their kids' lives, most mothers that I know, if the guy is effectively co-parenting, like doing what he's supposed to do when he's supposed to do it without being told, know his kids' shoe sizes, know what the kid like, know what the favorite color is, and actually spend time with their kids, they're
I don't
probably
know
letting
my
them
kids'
claim the
shoe
kids
sizes.
anyway. Yeah, they're probably letting the dad claim the kids either off. I know people who do it every other year. They switch off, or if they one claim it, they send the other some of it. So we're talking about a lot of the people that was excited about this were deadbeats. But I'm gonna mind my business.
What do you think,
I
Hank?
don't know my kids' shoe sizes. They're both upstairs sleep. Uh, I think child support is a sticky subject because these situations is always like a case by case. We try to make it this broad thing, but it's not a broad thing. I know too many, like my man had both of his kids and he's paying child support. How? My cousin
Yeah,
had his daughter, he's paying child support. How? Like my other cousin, shit, his baby mom left and left him with 4 kids to raise and went and had another 4 fucking kids, but he wasn't like getting no child support. Like I don't know if he's paying. I don't think he's paying her none. But like them situations
did
is
he
just too.
file it?
Probably not because this was
Yeah.
back in the day. This was like when I was growing up. So like them situations is too sticky. And as soon as you go down to the fucking child support, they instantly just say, Willie, where the pay stubs at? Hank, where the pay stubs at? Like it's like you lose as soon as you get there. So like I think them situations are really for the dude who, like you said, the nigga ain't did nothing, ain't claimed the child, he's not ever around or anything. Then we need some support for the child. But it's also called child support.
Mhm.
Like this is to support the child. And you can't support the kid with $50. Or I mean, I gotta go towards your means though. So even then, like I said, these situations be case by case. I know a
Yeah, a
nigga
lot
who
of people
said I'm
don't
about
even be paying what they be thinking that
I know a nigga who said I'm about to get a job at McDonald's for a month, so my child support payments can say I make X amount.
they go by the
Like,
minimum wage, and you can most people, and then they this is what people don't realize. As a person that has 2 people on child support, well, one's paying back, and you know, because my daughter's grown, and one actually paying child support. They go by our income too. I make there. If we look at my income versus
don't go throwing out your salary
no,
because you said
I'm not doing that. But I'm just saying, like
I,
you know
I
how
make six
like
point eight.
the income ratio. If you make 90% more than what the person that the other parent is making, they're not paying that much because you make too much. So they're automatically gonna give them minimum wage. The only way you're paying a I would say quote unquote a decent amount is if you're making better than what the other parent is making. Like if the father is most likely the father's on child support. So if the father is making way more than the mom, yeah, they're gonna give her more of his money because she's not making enough. Whether she doesn't have the experience, and they also offer they also help with employment things. They'll send you down unemployment to help you find or offer you educational things to go learn a trade or stuff like that. Like they offer these things. I think for me it's more so like you're talking to somebody that's in the system that knows the system, right? And it's a part of a extension of the system that helps with the job employment part. So it's not that you can't because they send you on job searches and they say, oh, okay, well we got these jobs that were hiring you. You have this type of background. What are your skills? Okay, so you can go to this school and further this skill, and that way you could get this type of money to be able to help support the child without robbing Peter to pay Paul. But if your baby mom makes like 80,000 and you make 40,000, they're not taking nothing from you. She probably going to get like under $100 weekly, if that. If you're talking about on a month
Yeah,
basis, you're not really getting things. So when you're saying that they're taking your check, it's because you got people that choose to work under the table or choose to work, like you said, low income jobs where you ain't really getting none. So she taking almost half the check, and not including you probably got kids elsewhere, and and so you got multiple kids
that's where
on
I was
child
going.
support. So it's
I
like,
got one homie with 4 kids. He had 4 kids on child support. I'm like, how the fuck is he supposed to order a pack? How is he supposed to buy a pack of oodles and noodles to take care of himself?
yeah.
Like, if
It's like
he's
you shouldn't
paying
be having all
for,
these kids and having to be
but that's
paying for me.
but
Be
this
living with
but that's why I'm saying.
you.
But okay, but that's why I said these joints should be case by case. Because then,
Yeah,
if I got
it
four
is. It
kids,
should
how
be.
am I supposed to be maintaining 4 different households and I can't maintain myself?
Yeah.
Like,
I
that's
think
why I
I think
said
a lot of
both of
child
my kids are
support.
by my wife.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
think a lot of child support can be alleviated by actually being a parent
Communication, yeah.
and being a
oh,
parent. Because if you're there, what do we need child support for? You're activating this child's life. I don't have to ask you for anything.
Like I
You're asking
said,
me what they need. School
I
starting.
know
What do
too
they
many
need?
situations where the nigga forget there, they live with me. How
mhm.
am I paying you and they live with me?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I see that situation too. Yeah, there's people. I think somebody in the group is in that situation where
oh
they were
yeah,
paying
he
off
came on
for
he
but
came on our
the
podcast
kid live with
unreserved.
them.
Yeah, talking about that. And
Yeah.
but no, we found out why he was still paying, because he didn't have his child, his mother did. So he was paying, his baby mama was paying, because neither one of you housed that kid. Your mom does. So your mom is on public assistance. That's why both you people have to pay child support, because yeah, you come see your kid, but you don't live with that kid.
Oh, wow.
Your baby mom doesn't live with that kid. Neither one of you have custody of that kid. Your mother does. You're paying child support to your mom. So we can't. This is not. That's why I say we can have a conversation, but like when he almost made me cuss him out, and like is I apologize for my delivery, but I meant everything I said. This is because if you're, and I say it to anybody, if you're a parent that has your child, there's no reason you should be paying child support. But men don't like going down to the child support office, because if you have your kids and you can prove that you have your kids, and you, because it's getting a note from the school, the doctor, because you're the only one taking, because this bitch is a deadbeat, go get that paperwork. I know it's problematic, but go get it. Because guess what? If you can certify that them kids are within your custody and they ain't even seen that girl, you ain't paying nothing. She's paying it. But a lot of men won't do that because they're a man. They don't looking for handouts. No, she gonna put your child support. You put her on child support.
Exactly. Yeah. No,
Like,
exactly.
stop being scared. Put these women on child support. She a deadbeat. Put her on child support.
Hey, this is why I always try to explain to niggas. Snitching is me and Willie robbed this bank together, and he told the cops to
That part. I told one of my friends, I told one of my dear friends that his baby mom was crazy. And I said, put that girl, he has custody of his son. I said, put her on child support. He don't. Every time I talk to him, like, you put her on child support, we can't even start a conversation without me mentioning child support. Because I was here for you listening to your child support conversations. She's a deadbeat. Why is she not on child support?
Yeah.
I don't care if you don't need her money.
In the middle of the debate, you know, when I first heard about it, I was like, oh yeah, that it is. I see how that can be a thing, you know, and how it would make sense that, you know, if because you know, when you file your taxes and you say that, you know, you're gonna claim the kid, you're claiming them because you're supposed to be the one, you know, supporting the child throughout the year, and if you're supporting the child more than 50%, you know, for what they need throughout the year, then, you know, you should be able to claim them on the taxes. But, you know, to your point, Sonny, you know, a lot of the times this can be alleviated, you know, or this could be something that you trade off, or this could be something that it's like, hey, if I'm doing this, then yeah, of course I should be able to claim this child, you know. But I think it's also people having to understand that what they're paying into the child support, I think you brought that up too, is not always what's supporting the child fully, you know what I mean? Because if you're paying $100 a month for a kid, and they're living with a custodial, you know, the other custodial parent, that person's definitely not only using $100 to take care of that kid in a month.
Or facts.
Not even 200 or 300 sometimes. So you're talking about, you know, the difference between, you know, custody, time that you have the child, as well as, you know, what it costs to take care of a child, what it costs to, you know, clothes, food,
everyday needs, miscellaneous shit.
Your residence, you know, activities at school, extracurricular activities, things like that. And people don't think about that, you know. Like, I remember there was this guy was talking about, trying to remember what it was. It was something to do with like how the process was going, and he kept having to go back and forth to court. And it turned out that I think originally he was paying something like $300-400 a month, and it was reduced to like $200 or something like that. But he still felt like he was getting the short end of the stick. And it's like, how do you think you could take care of a kid on $200 a month?
Like, people really be believing that. And then
it's like, you think that's all that woman needs to take care of your child?
People, no, listen.
It's more than just, oh, he don't eat $200 worth of food. It's not just food. It's not just, you know, whatever you think it is. It's more to taking care of a child than just $100 a month.
Listen, my daughter's dad was paying $87 a week. My daughter's dad was paying $87 a week, which he really wasn't paying at that point in time. Why are we complaining about anything? He was more complaining about the back child support, but then you went to court and reduced it. I didn't even argue with you about it. I'm like, so it went down to $77 because the 87 was with the extra $10 for the back. And the judge said, hey, sir, you know that's going to negatively affect you when you pay the back child support. And then, of course, when she gets grown, he like, can you take me off the back child support? No.
Right.
for 19 years, I took care of her
Oh, I remember that
all by
debate.
myself. What are you talking about, sir? Like, what are you?
Debate. That was a big one because
Like he was in the court acting like he was Big Bang Hank, bro. What are you talking about? 70. Like you argue with me, the judge like, do you want to take? Like he can take it down to whatever he wants. I'm not gonna argue with this man. He paid $87 and 77. Okay. Like what the fuck do you think that does? Nothing. She's a girl at that. What do you think that does? She was in cheers. She was in gymnastics and shit like that, and everything she needed. I made sure she had. What are you talking about? You want to put your little $87 back, bro? And then he got mad because he asked me to claim on taxes, and I was like, no. Because when she's a baby, you bought her a bottle for $1 and some change. Here go your $2. Keep the change, bro. Get out my face. What are you talking about?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like that's what irks me. It's not necessarily him in particular. I just feel like some of the people that complain ain't paying shit. No way.
Right.
So what are you complaining about? She killing me. Now I know dads that be there, that's on child support, busting their ass and still getting raped, and it's messed up because it's because some people are bitter and that's what they choose to do. And at the end of the day, it's unfortunate because when you talk to them and tell them to go through the steps, they like it's too much. I don't got time for all that. And that I don't got time is why you still paying what you paying, even though you take them to every doctor appointment, even though you take them to go get their haircut, even though you take them to and from and do what you need to do.
Doing shit. Niggas always talking about they ain't got time, but they ain't doing shit.
Right.
It'd be crazy because like that could alleviate. I tell people I promote men going to child support. Go to child support. Put yourself on it.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. But that's our show tonight, folks. You know, glad everybody was able to jump in and get your opinions out there.
Yeah,
it's gonna be a heck of an administration. It's gonna be
through this one. Subject matter.
hey, that's the government talk. We gotta protect our citizens.
That part.
Throwing all the protections out.
They flagged us on Instagram Live for talking about somebody getting killed on Yellowstone. They said, "Whoa, hey, these niggas off."
Hey. Wow. My Facebook account finally not restricted anymore because they had me on like, bitch, we on high alert. We gonna delete her Facebook. I'm like, no.
Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that and then the crazy thing is that with the algorithms and everything, you still get information like that and posts like that anyway. And it's like, how you coming down on me and I still see all this stuff all over the place. Like,
they posting, they got me for nudity and it wasn't even a nude picture. I'm like, what? I think somebody reported me for a picture, but it wasn't even a nude picture. I'm like, this what?
Sonny so on the flick.
No, so I was scrolling through something and somebody was saying how they got flagged for, like you said, for nudity, and they were
like 4 years ago.
And it right, exactly. And it was like, yeah, they got.
But at the time, it was 4 years ago.
They got these Instagram models on here, half nude or fully nude and all this kind of stuff, and they ain't flagging them.
I know somebody posts that shit every day. Like,
yeah,
they flagged me for some shit, but this girl's got a whole titty out.
Literally. So yeah, it's like, how does that work? It don't make sense.
They got me for, what was it? A meme with a guy with his chest out, but it was like a meme. It was words. It was something funny. Mm-hmm. And they said it was nudity. I'm like, what?
Wow.
You can't even see the man's nipples because the words were covering it. It's just that's like any other man that take a picture at the gym. What are we talking about?
Hey, Instagram knows best.
That was Facebook.
Meta knows best, right? Meta knows best.
Yeah. Out of control.
Maybe we'll talk about that next week when they talking about the AI
taking his gym selfies.
And now,
nigga taking his gym selfies, and you just walk up. Oh, my bad, cuz go
ahead. All right. Well, make sure y'all check us out. We are, we're here. We're always over at the GFT Join the Conversation group, so make sure y'all check us out over there. I actually jumped back in the other day. I know, right? It's been a little while since I've been on there. Unfortunately, I had missed the email too. Somebody sent an email back in October, and I just got a chance to respond. It's been crazy. It's been very, very busy last few months, But I'm trying to get back in there, trying to at least show my face. You know how they say
that part.
So make sure y'all go over to facebook.com/group/GFT, join the conversation. Don't forget, like, follow, share, subscribe over here, and hit that notification bell so you'll be notified when we go live. And Sonny, tell the folks where they can find you.
You guys can find me, Hype, and so many other dope podcasters on the BS3 network for the Podcast Link Philly show. Our first live show is on there. Go check it out. BS3 network. Download the app or find them on Roku. And you can also interact with me at IamSunny_D, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, and TikTok. And visit me at my blog, unreservedlyme.com. Also follow at Podcast Link Philly on Instagram for all of our live shows, clips of our live shows, and all the other stuff in between.
Dope.
Yep. That's under new releases when you get on there. Under most viewed, also, you're saying paid talent like us, son. You make
Amen.
like that. At I Am Hype on Instagram and Twitter. As at Custom Hustle World on Instagram, Custom Hustle Co on Twitter, at H2H Cleaning on Instagram only. The CH's 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s, and 5s are all available right now. Also, the Custom Hustle boots, the socks, 2 versions of the flip flops, the track suits, the sweatsuits, the hoodies. You name it, we got it over at Custom Hustle World.
All right. Yeah, I gotta get over to the Pod League Live and hang out with y'all. I'm gonna be through there soon. It's your boy Willie Styles in the building. Make sure you get at me at Willie Styles on IG and Twitter. Willie.Styles over at Snapchat and TikTok. Is TikTok still around? I think so. Visit me over at stylesradio.com for all the hot tracks that I'm listening to. Been listening to a lot of Shabuzi lately. And all his duets as well. So make sure y'all go check those out. And then hit me up at williestyles.info for all my links. You know where to get me. All right. In the meantime, make sure y'all check us out. gftradio.creator-spring.com for all of our merchandise. Make sure y'all check out the hoodies, all the merch, all the accessories, and don't forget we got cups too. We got the glass. We do.
I got a couple cups in my house.
Oh yeah, me too. Got drinking glasses, so make sure y'all check those out. Also, check us out on gftradioshow.com for all of our links to our socials and to our platforms. GFT_radio on Twitter and Instagram, GFT Radio on Twitch, or GFT Radio Network on Facebook. Join the conversation group at facebook.com/group/GFT. Join the conversation. Or make sure you listen free on demand 24/7 at all of your favorite audio platforms: Spotify, iHeartRadio, Pandora, YouTube Music, and Apple Podcasts. I did clean it up.
All right now.
The video replays at Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube. All right. Until next time, we are out.
Yo, it's your boy Dame here.
Hey guys, it's your girl Sunny D.
Yo, it's your boy Smooth from the GFT Radio Network.
What up, though? It's your boy Willie Styles in the building.
Join us Mondays at 10 p.m. live on Twitch, YouTube, and our Facebook. And if you miss us, don't worry. You can catch it on our website, gftradioshow.com. And if you feel like talking to us every day, join our Facebook group.
At Join the Conversation, the group where you can discuss all kinds of topics.
Catch me also, Fans Respected, Dope Sports Show. Holla at your boy.
You can cop some merchandise over at our store, teespring.com/stores/GFT Radio. You can get t-shirts, sweatshirts, masks, and even more.
Next time on GFT Radio, what are we talking about? Join the conversation to find out.
Make sure you get at us on gftradioshow.com for all of our audio and video playbacks, as well as links to all of our social media sites.